Let's start with the breaking development coming in at this hour. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has resigned amid growing political pressure over the NEET paper leak controversy and student protests. The resignation comes after days of demonstrations demanding accountability and reforms in the examination system. My colleague Siddhant is joining me from Delhi to take us through the latest updates. Siddhant, what are you picking up as far as the protest and Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation is concerned?
Well, a significant development. The Union Education Minister has resigned. We have seen the reaction of the protesters in Jantar Mantar. In fact, our team is there, and of course, there's an internet issue there, and of course, we know that the restrictions that have been put in place by the Delhi police authorities. But it is, of course, a moment for the protesters because this is something that was almost unthinkable. It's the first resignation under the Modi government. And we know that primarily the government has been saying that it is taking measures, reforms when it comes to the election, when the leak of the NEET examination paper. Now, why is this big issue? This is a big issue primarily because the examination need to be transparent, primarily because this is one way for social mobility for many young Indians. And if they see this as fraught with corruption, malpractices, of course, disheartens them. And we saw the protests. Of course, there were elements in the protests who took advantage, something that the police authorities have highlighted. There was, of course, a misinformation campaign as well from our neighboring country. But all in all, in many ways, for the protesters, this is a big victory. This is a day of celebration. This is something that they were demanding. They were clearly saying this is non-negotiable. The resignation of a minister is something that needs to happen. The government, of course, on its part had taken a number of measures, including designation and the education minister being moved out from the ministry, the education secretary being moved out from the ministry, the action on corrupt officials as well. So all in all, this is an important moment politically and also in terms of accountability.
Right. Siddhant, that's a very important development coming in. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has resigned. Reactions are also coming from the CJP protest site. And Abhijit Deepke, he has also responded saying that Pradhan has resigned and this resignation is proof that if you people are not afraid, if you do not go down, then we can take the resignation of anyone. What is the situation at the site? What are people making of the statement coming from Abhijit Deepke?
Well, of course, for the protesters, this is a moment of celebration. That's clear, and that was expected as well. This is something that the protesters have demanded for days, and finally the demands have been fulfilled. The area has internet clamped down, so it's difficult to get more situation. There was a tear gas firing earlier in the day. We have seen the statement of Dipke as well. But all in all, we need to wait and watch as to what next. This is a student movement. In the past, also, India has had students' movement. This is not the first students' movement, but every student movement has put up new leaders who have shaped the political the political culture of India. Dharmendra Pradhan himself was a student leader. But when it comes to what next for the political movement, in many ways, for the protesters, it will be closely watched, including by the other parties, including the Congress party.
Right, before we get you more updates, here's a quick look at the resignation letter that Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has written to Prime Minister Modi. I'll just give you a short read out of the resignation letter. He says, "My young friends, I've been dedicated to students, teachers and education reform for over 4 decades. And I've always believed that a strong, inclusive and visionary education system is the foundation of a strong nation. I deeply respect the aspirations, sentiment and justifiable expectation of the country's youth. Realizing the dreams of India's young generation has been the moral commitment of all of us in political and social life, and I express my gratitude to the Prime Minister for the opportunity I have had to serve the nation under his visionary leadership." Those are the words coming from the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Meanwhile, I'd also like to turn our attention of our viewers to the screen where you can see visuals coming in from Jantar Mantar, celebratory visuals coming in after the Education Minister has resigned. Well, just to highlight, the CJP began its protest in Delhi last month and the students' support, the agitation only grew ever since climate activist Sonam Wangchuk began his hunger strike. The protest began last month and despite Wangchuk calling off the fast earlier this week, the CJP stayed firm on Pradhan's resignation demand, making it clear that nothing lesser would be acceptable and that victory has come through. And to give us the latest updates on the story, Dharmendra Kaur is now joining us from New Delhi, the Jantar Mantar side. Dharmendra, take us through the latest updates. What is the environment like at Jantar Mantar?
After weeks of protest in the heart of Delhi near Jantar Mantar and other parts of India as well, India's Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has officially submitted his resignation to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The announcement that came just a short while back has triggered a wave of jubilation at the protest site among thousands of students who have been demonstrating not just in Jantar Mantar but other parts of India as well. Remember, the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan was the key sticking point because of which the talks had reached a stalemate, not just between the Cockroach Janata Party and the government, but also in the parliament between the government and the opposition. The resignation now paves the way for a broader conversation on India's education reform and a systemic overhaul to ensure that leaks of competitive examinations in the future are minimized. Where the conversation goes from now is going to be a very, very interesting aspect to watch out for as it unfolds in the coming days. Having said that, the Cockroach Janata Party has also said that there are two more demands on which they want an official agreement from the government on. That is financial compensation to the students who died by suicide after the NEET paper leak, and also no legal punitive action being taken by police and other security agencies against the youth that was protesting at Jantar Mantar. Once all of these demands are met formally, that is when this protest will officially be called off by the Cockroach Janata Party. Here in New Delhi with Abhishek, this is Dharmendra Kaur for WION World.